Okay, the first attacker comes to strike me. I move in a reverse directional movement line, redirecting him. The second opponent comes to get me. I hook the stick from him, breaking the grip from his hand, coming to the first one, then back to the second one. The first one comes again, I just keep hitting him and hitting him. My first opponent comes to strike me. I move out to the side, redirecting him towards the second one. I use the first one's arm to block with. I come kneeing the first one to the quadricep, elbowing him to the head, side kicking the second one, back around, bringing both my opponents down, banging their heads into each other. Grab my head, come on. My attacker comes, grabs me by the hair. He's going to pull my head down towards his knee. As he does, I come with a straight fist. I grab my attacker by the neck, kneeing him to the face, passing him through, kneeing him into the back, coming to strike him here, taking his head back around, slamming his head to the ground, and finishing him off. I go back down and around, knee here, coming over here. Back down and around, knee here, coming over here. As my opponent comes to push me, I go with the push, crossing back around, putting him in this position, kneeing him to the back, doing an inside shudo chop, kneeing him with my other foot, coming around with a ridge hand to the throat, collecting his arm back around, turning my position in my opponent in a controlling technique, and palm striking him to the back. As my opponent comes to front thrust, kick me, I move to the side, catching his leg, coming in to his face with my fist, again smashing his leg with my elbow, smashing him to the face as he grabs onto my arm. I take him back into my knee. From this point, I strike my opponent to the center, dropping him back down around my knee and doing a finishing strike to his head. My attacker is fairly close to me. I'm not sure if he's going to punch me or not, so I'm pretty much in a casual stance. As he comes with a reverse straight, I use a sidewards directional movement line combined with a circular motion, redirecting the punch all the way up to his other hand. I take the other hand, I pop his elbow, I elbow him a couple times inside, I reach around, bang his head into my knee, coming down with my body weight to his elbow, controlling the arm, and finishing my attack. My opponent comes to push me. I go with the push, redirecting using the circular technique. As his elbow comes around for the other side, I go with his elbow strike. I step around on my opponent, having both his arms trapped. I slam his head to the floor and finish him off with a palm strike. Attacker comes with the round punch, I come into the punch using my forward angle line, striking him, coming around, redirecting him as I put my hand underneath his chin, picking him up, stepping outside, dropping him to my knee, then fall over and applying pressure on his lower back as I pull him up by his chin and arm.
Take it away. I let it go with his energy. I hook around. I'm holding his wrist. I give him 2 shots in the back with my knee. I side kick his knee to bring him down, followed by roundhouse to the back of the head. My opponent lunges through with the knife. I do a backward reverse. I'm blocking with his hand. As I want to come into elbow, I grab onto the arm, I elbow to the ribs, back fist to the face, step in behind. As I go to throw him, I slice his neck, and then I stab down into the ribs, or kidney. Comes through with the left thrust. I scoop the leg, palm strike to the face, grab the gi, throw him down, flip him around, pull the leg back, do the other one back, come up, and strike to the groin. Comes through with the right punch. I sidestep to the left, roundhouse. As I'm coming down, I palm strike him to the head. I come around, I stick the back of his leg, and I hit him in the side of the head. He brings his arm back around. I don't want to worry about that one. I've got this one. I go into a lock, to a knee to the face, drag takedown, bend the elbow up, kneel on his head, palm strike between the shoulder blades. When he comes in and he does a fake jab to his right, I'm doing a forward reverse, side angle. I missed the punch. He comes through with the other one. I step in, I lock his leg, take him down, step in, twist the elbow around, kneel by his head, palm strike to the back of the head.
Give me your money.
No!
Give me your money.
No! At the bank machine, trying to get some money. This guy comes up behind me, and he's trying to take my money. He says, "Give me your money." I put this one hand up towards the throat. The other hand controls the wrist. He gets mad, so he decides he's going to slice my wrist. I go with the energy, step out around, give him an out-bent torque, step in with my left foot to block him so he can't pull away, pull him down, bring the knife around, and stab into his throat. My opponent comes in with a left punch. I am blocking and sticking with the right as I'm doing a forward reverse angle. I do a groin shot, then I bring the hand up to the face, put the foot behind his leg, throw it down, lock the arm, smash the arm, and torque. Okay, my opponent comes through with the right punch. I step back on a left reverse angle, give him a side kick, step down, Do a back hook kick, palm strike to the face, throw, pull him over onto the stomach, reach down, grab the chin and the head, and break the neck.
Okay, as my opponent comes in with a right leg roundhouse kick, I shoot in, checking his leg with my left leg, checking his arm with my left arm, and I strike him to the neck. As I step down, I loop through him, hanging onto his wrist, folding his wrist over, hitting him in the face. As my opponent comes in with a deep lunge punch, I block to the inside, circling around underneath his elbow, pulling him back onto my knee, judo chopping him to the clavicle, and if he needs it, a palm strike to the side of the head. My opponent comes in with a right roundhouse punch. I step off to the side, blocking it. I give him a shudo as I step in, come underneath his arm, throw him over, straightening the arm, punching him in the side of the head. As my opponent steps through the left straight punch, I step off to the side, sweeping his leg, taking him down, striking him to the face, rolling him over, putting my knee on his shoulder, pulling back, separating the shoulder, palm striking him in the back of the head. As my opponent comes in with a right roundhouse, I shoot forward on the number 5 angle, loop my arm around his elbow as I step in, palm striking him, taking him to the ground. I have him in a straight arm bar, shot to the temple. My opponent comes to grab me in a low bear hug, like he wants to throw me up over his shoulder. I quickly step out to the side, checking his knee as I push my butt out and squat down, throwing him backwards. I hang on to his wrist, turn around, coming up over this way, placing him in a straight armbar wrist lock, and giving him a shot to the rib cage. Okay, my opponent comes up and grabs me by the collar. I act surprised, putting my hands up. I take a back step on a number 8 directional angle as I come around and hook his arm in a circular motion to the outside with my right arm. My left arm shoots forward, striking him in the throat as I pull him back, dropping him to the ground, keeping this arm, twisting it around, giving him a shot to the side. My opponent comes in with an overhead strike with his weapon. I step in on a number 7 directional angle, come up underneath his shoulder, and I shoulder throw. As he hits the ground, I take the baseball bat, bringing it in, hitting him in the back of the head, striking him twice, and getting out of the way.
My opponent comes to punch, step to his outside, wrap my arm under his, grab him by the throat, bend him back into a reverse guillotine, give him an elbow to the throat area, and then drop, kick him in the head, and move back out of his way. My opponent can make for the break grab. I lock his hand into my chest, bring his elbow on the inside, wrap my left arm around his throat, drop him to my knee, elbow him into the solar plexus, drop hammer fist to the groin, elbow to the throat, finish up with a punch to the side of the neck.
Yeah.
step in, give him a hip toss, go down with him, put him into a choke, get in close so he can't grab my face, or poke my eyes, and choke him. When my opponent comes to attack me with a staff, I'll move to the side, kick him, bring the staff around his neck, reach around while the staff is under my armpit, and I just crank it, bring him down on my knee, push his head forward, hop back up. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. That's my opponent come for the attack. His staff. I move to the side. I keep his momentum going. Turn him over. Drop on top of him. Stick across the throat. Put my hand behind his neck and crank down with the staff under my armpit so he can't get out of it. And just start cranking. And just start cranking until he passes it. My opponent comes for a right punch. I do a cross step, spinning hook to his face, followed by a right punch to the head. Bring him down, punch to the throat, controlling his hand where his hand is. My opponent will make a double grab. I got two hands free, so I'm going to use them. Using body force with my punches. Punch to the face, punch to the face, punch to the face, kick to the ground, elbow to the back of the neck. When he goes down, stab right between the shoulder blades. Okay, when my opponent comes for a lift punch, I'll step to his outside, give him a punch to the head with my right hand, bring my elbow in this way, come back with an elbow, shoulder chop to the throat. Just get back out of his way.
My opponent comes with a round right punch. I block his punch and shoulder chop him to the neck. Reach around and secure his arm. Bring him down, elbow him in the face if possible. Strike him in the face. Step over him, turning him over on his front. Putting my knee in his back. Going back. Okay, my opponent does an inside slash with his right hand with the knife. As it passes through, I block it with my left and give him a punch to the midsection. I step behind his leg, reaching down, securing his arm, and pulling him off balance. As he resists, I pull back into a wrist lock to get him off balance, slicing him as he goes down, and then turning the knife towards him and sticking it. Does a straight left punch. I move off to the side and then come right back in, checking his left arm and striking him in the midsection. I ride up his arm with my left hand, doing a ridge hand to his neck, and then I guard his left hand again, elbowing him to the head. I use that motion to spin myself around as I hold him back, elbowing him in the head on the other side. Reposition my feet, grabbing his face, bringing him down to the ground, striking him in the head again, turning him over on his front, putting my knee in his back, grabbing his head. My opponent does a straight left punch. As I move off to the side, I kick him in the ribs, come through the straight right punch, elbow him to the head again, bring him around to a guillotine, knee him to the back once, knee him to the back a second time. As he's falling down, I do a straight hammer chop. As I'm standing here minding my own business, my opponent reaches around me and around my neck to choke me. I stick my butt out to give myself some breathing room, stomp on his left foot, give him a heel to his knee, reach across and give him another heel to his knee as I'm elbowing him into the side. From here, I reach around and grab his head, bring it into my knee, and then I push his arm over, push his head down onto the ground, and break his elbow. My opponent comes with a straight right punch to me. I move away from it and strike him in the midsection. Then I guard his left hand as an open hand face strike. Then I break his elbow with my left hand, snap back with a punch to his face, reach around and control him with a choke, bring him down onto my knee. I can take him out. My opponent throws a straight left punch. I move out of the way, come right back in using a water technique, striking him to the face. I grab the back of his head, bring it into my right knee, and I reach his arm around, keeping hold of his face. As soon as his forehead gets to my flat hand, I bring him into another knee shot, let him go, grab his hand on the way down. Move into position, break his elbow,